involved, and most importantly, stay curious. So as we all know, SPE is the largest individual member organization serving engineers, scientists, managers, and energy professionals in the upstream oil and gas industry. Our mission is very clear. That is to connect a global community of energy professionals to exchange knowledge, innovate, and continuously strengthen our technical and professional competence in pursuit of a safe, secure, and sustainable energy future. So today's webinar, most importantly, aligns perfectly with that mission. It reinforces SPE's commitment to ensuring that our members remain technically strong, professionally relevant, and globally connected. So before we fully dive into today's discussion, let us take a short moment to watch a brief video highlighting the immense benefits of SPE membership. This will allow a few more participants to join us. So please enjoy the video.
Thanks for joining us on SPE TV. I'm Sarah Solomon, and there are a ton of benefits from being an SPE member. And I got a chance to catch up with attendees who tell me just how SPE has benefited their careers.
I've always enjoyed, interfacing, networking, meeting a lot of people, making friends, but also the technical content. You learned a lot from the various ATWs and OTC, etc., and the papers at JPT. So it's just a great way of staying connected with the industry at large.
I've gotten to attend meetings which I find interesting and informative, and it might not be something that I'd normally see in my day-to-day work.
Make the most out of your membership by collaborating with other SPE members online, access papers and publications, and make a difference.
Greatly from it, benefited from volunteering to serve. I've served as session chairman. I've organized big-time conference for SPE. It gave me a lot of opportunity to network and to also acquire some experience in leadership.
For one thing, the main manual I use in teaching my technical writing classes because I use it as a style guide, and I've got to tell you, the list of petroleum engineering terms in that manual is priceless. Whatever I have to pay for that, worth it.
And SPE is actually one of the major sources of technology. And whenever I need to look for something new technology or wanted to learn about something, I go to the SPE online and download these SPE papers.
To become a member, simply log on to SPE's website and click on the Join SPE tab. In minutes, you'll have access to member benefits. Memberships are good for 1 calendar year, running from January to December. So there you have it. Now don't forget to renew your membership so you can stay connected to all the latest technologies SPE has to offer and the thousands of E&P professionals around the world. Thanks for joining us on SPE TV. I'm Sarah Solomon. Thanks for.
Wow, that was a wonderful video that I enjoyed. So if that video did not remind you why you joined SPE or why you should renew your membership, I believe the rest of this session certainly will. Today's discussion will further demonstrate how SPE continues to offer real, practical value to professionals across the energy industry. Our webinar today is themed The Technical Edge, leveraging SPE membership and technical sessions for career longevity. Now, before we proceed, let me express how genuinely honored we are to have the 2027 SPE International President, Madam Susan House, with us today. Madam, we deeply appreciate your time, especially joining us at 9 a.m. Houston time, and your willingness to engage directly with members in Ghana and across Africa. This really means a great deal to us. So let me briefly walk us through today's program. We have begun our welcome and introduction already. We'll shortly review a few house rules and safe start reminders. After that, we will move into our icebreaker session, which has an intriguing theme called the My SPE Experience. This will be followed by an opening address from our Young Professionals Chairperson, who will then formally introduce our guest speaker for the keynote presentation. Now, after the presentation, we'll have an interactive Q&A session titled Ask the 2027 SPE International President. We'll also share a feedback survey link before concluding with closing remarks. So I encourage everyone to remain fully engaged throughout this session. So as we proceed, a few house rules. To ensure a smooth session, kindly keep your microphones muted unless invited to speak. You may also use the raise hand feature if you wish to ask a question verbally. You may also submit questions and comments via the chat box. Your cooperation will help us maintain a seamless and enriching discussion that we all will enjoy. So pertinent to the SPE Safe Start reminder, with safety being a core value of both our industry and SPE, allow me to share a few quick reminders. Please maintain proper sitting posture as indicated on your screen. Take short breaks when necessary to avoid fatigue. For those joining from operational sites, always adhere strictly to standard operating procedures and remain aware of your surroundings. Even in a virtual setting like this one, safety remains a priority. It is very paramount. So now let's move on to an exciting part of our webinar, which is dubbed the My SP Experience. So we'll hear from distinguished members within the SP Africa region as they share how SP has influenced their careers, leadership journeys, and professional growth. I also encourage everyone in the audience to share their own experiences in the chats if possible. And if time permits, I'll read a few of them aloud for us all to take inspiration from. So firstly, I invite, if she's on the call, Ms. Christabel Furiata, who is a senior modeling analyst at Energy Systems Catapult. So Ms. Furiata, if you're on the call, the floor is yours, please.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
You are very audible.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for for inviting me to speak. It's an honor always to be able to give so much back to SP as much as SP has given to me. And so thank you so much. I guess my ex SP experience. I joined SP back in 2020, I think March 2020, and it was actually after a conversation with both, I think, the current programs chair for SB Ghana, James Alote Okai, and some conversations with the current ARD as well. And I guess it was all in a bit to make me understand the value of SPE to and and back then I guess I was a young engineer, so to a rising professional. And so I took the opportunity, took advantage of it, and joined SPE then. And I mean, I must say, having worked as a field engineer in deep water operations, both in Ghana and Nigeria, then I guess joining SPE was a really great improvement in terms of it provided me with, some opportunities to be able to sharpen my technical edge. We can talk about some of the webinars, the technical discussions that I had the opportunity to be a part of, made me better understand, different things in the industry like reservoir management, production optimization, digitalization, etc. All of those were very essential to the work I was doing then. And when I say the work I was doing then, I was with Schlumberger then, working as a field engineer. And so I guess it helped to expand my perspective uh, on and in the industry that I found myself in. And then also, I guess the biggest impact for me with SPE has been community and networking, being able to connect with different professionals and engineers across different stages of their careers and of different backgrounds. It's helped me to really learn so much, be exposed to so much that I wouldn't have otherwise been exposed to in my own little corner. And I guess it's sort of helped me to embed a culture of continuous learning and adaptability wherever I found myself, continuously staying technically curious, building the networks that are both beneficial to me and beneficial to the people and to the environment that I'm in as well. And just being, remaining anchored in, those professional standards that are so relevant in the energy industry. I guess now I've transitioned more to net sustainability systems where I work and doing some energy systems modeling and net zero planning in the UK. But it doesn't it just shows how much I've evolved and also how much has helped me to understand how much the industry has evolved and SPE has evolved as well, just showing how much technical excellence across board evolves in all respects. So I guess what I would say to anyone who's part of SPE or hoping to join is SPE offers the opportunities to first a great networking association where you can meet people, have intellectual conversations, or even casual conversations that actually add to your knowledge and to basically life. And also, it gives you something to leverage boldly, strategically, and also globally. Because I've been able to enter rooms by virtue of the people that I've met and interacted with, and these are having those global discussions wherever I've been in. And so I guess the future of energy, it belongs to us, it belongs to us. And I consider myself a young professional. So with young professionals coming up, the goal is to never stop learning, never stop engaging, and as much and be a part of SPE wherever and whenever you can. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. That was truly insightful. So next, I will invite Derek Okine, who is the communications chairperson for the SP Ghana section, a facility known as the SAGE. So Derek, the floor is yours, please.
Yeah, hello everyone, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share my experience with SP Ghana. Initially, when I was invited to talk about my experiences with SP Ghana, I didn't know what to say. But as I began to realize, as I began to write, I realized that I have a lot more to talk about than how much time I was given to speak. So to start with, I got in touch. I first heard about SPE Ghana in 2023, where I was looking for an opportunity to write. So a friend of mine who works at Ghana Gas advertised the Ghanaian Petroleum Times, which is the flagship magazine of the SPE Ghana section, and it had been released for the first time around that time. And when I reached out to him that I wanted to volunteer to write for the magazine, unfortunately, they had finished with the magazine and then they had already published, but he introduced me to Dr. Iverson, who was then the SPE Ghana president chairperson. And Dr. Iverson, I had a call with him. He liked me and he was happy about the kind of skills that I had. And so, although the magazine had already been published, he offered to make me his personal writing assistant and then also designer because I'm a creative marketer and designer by profession. But around that time, I was still, starting my career. Then while I was in touch with him, with Dr. Iverson, he gave me an opportunity to cover live events production and then also photo videography for the 2023 SP Annual Students Congress, which was held in the University of Ghana. And through that, I also became a member of the SP Communications Committee, and I provided a lot of digital support over there. So a couple of months later, this is where the big turning points came. A couple of months later, Dr. Iverson showed me a job advertising for digital media officer with the company where I currently work, Africa Center for Energy Policy. And then he asked if I was interested. Yes, I said I was interested. And then in about 2 or 3 weeks later, I called for an interview. And through his recommendation, I got picked at the job at the workplace as a digital media officer. So a year later, I became the SPE Ghana section, SPE Ghana Communications and Media Committee chair. And through that, I got a chance to lead a team of young individuals who are passionate about communication. And thankfully, by the grace of God, I'm able to, train a lot of them in the areas of communication. So what this really means for my career is that through my engagements with SPE Ghana, and then also the recommendation of Dr. Everson at the time for me to get the role of a digital media officer, it has helped me transfer my work as a digital communications professional into the industry setting, where now I work with a civil society organization, Africa Center for Energy Policy, which is focused on energy and extractive resource governance, where I use my skill as a digital media person to break down complex policy language and to simple, relatable content for everyday people in Ghana and then across Africa. About 2 or 3 years down the line, I'm still holding a position as a digital media, still holding my position as a communications and media committee chairperson, supported by two able ladies. And I have the privilege to lead and then train a young group of people who are taking SPE Ghana communications to another level. And I believe that is a work that has seen a lot of progress. And I must also mention that I want to also mention that by virtue of Dr. Everson's recommendation, who is currently the SPE Ghana, SPE Africa, SPE Africa director, I have an opportunity to work with SPE Africa on the geothermal workshop, where I've been able to design an event management website where people can register for the geothermal workshop and then also participate in it. So I've had so much opportunity with SPE Ghana. I've gotten an opportunity to network, to be able to translate my skills into the corporate setting, to be able to lead a team of young individuals in communications and digital media. And that to me is a very big privilege I cannot underestimate. And I believe that whoever is on this call who hasn't joined SPE yet, so long as you are interested in joining, so long as you want to make meaning in your career, being a member of SPE Ghana section is going to be a turning point for you. Thank you very much once again for this opportunity to share my experience. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Derek, for that wonderful experience. We've all been really impacted by the SPE Africa Regional Director, Dr. Riverson. So, due to time, I would like to expedite the MySPE experience and then move to our final speaker, that is Ms. Pauline Iwamaka Ibuanusi, the Young Professionals Chair for the SPE Port Harcourt session. So, Pauline, the floor is yours, please.
Okay, thank you. Please confirm you can hear me. Sorry.
You're very audible.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity and the invitation to share my SPE experience. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to join several voices today to say that my journey with the Society of Petroleum Engineers has been one of the most defining points in my career. When I first became actively involved in SPE, that was around 2019, as I was about, that's by upon graduation in 2019, particularly with the SPE Port Harcourt section. I saw it as a professional organization just to find someone to get a job in the industry. But as the year progresses, it became much more for me. It became a platform for growth, leadership, and impact. Over the years, SPE has helped me to build my professional network in ways I never imagined. It has connected me with industry leaders, mentors, and young professionals who have challenged me in various ways, especially to think bigger and to be a goal-getter. So through regional and local technical sections, I've been privileged to be part of Dr. Riverson's communication team for the African region. We were part of the communication team that um, publicized the African Technical Conference last year and still doing that this year. It has been a rewarding experience and building through regional and local technical sections, conferences like NICE, ATC, and strategic initiatives here in SPE Port Harcourt section. I've gained deeper industry knowledge and a clearer understanding of where I fit in as a chemical engineer in the energy industry. Beyond networking and knowledge transfer that SPE provides, it has also given me professional and personal visibility. Being part of initiatives from planning from scratch to executing and delivering the events and several programs within the SPE Port Harcourt section, especially the young professionals community, has allowed me to contribute meaningfully to empowering young people. We have over 700 young professionals in SPE Port Harcourt region, and empowering these people to build their career dream. And through numerous initiatives also that I volunteer in other SPE Port Harcourt committee, I was not just growing professionally, I was also helping to create opportunity for other industry professionals. SPE has also strengthened my leadership capacity. I used to be this sharing person to speak to the crowd, to larger audience. But today, SPE has provided me, has given me that voice to be part of initiatives like this, to share my experience and coordinating programs from scratch, planning, building on engaging with industry stakeholders for sponsorship drive, funding drive, and working with passionate volunteers has also helped me build confidence, strategic thinking, and organizational skills that have directly impacted how I move in my place of work. And most importantly, SPE has helped me discover that true professional growth is not just about personal success, it is about influence, service, and legacy. Today, I can confidently say that SPE did not just impact my career, it shaped my professional identity. Through SPE I've gotten good recommendations for job opportunities, remote job opportunities, mentorship opportunities, and more importantly, through SPE, I've also have the opportunity to experience my first travel experience too. So all thanks to SPE African region for that exceptional experience. SPE has also given me a platform that has challenged me to use the platform to create value here in SPE Port Harcourt region, where we are handling several initiatives to empower young people. So for everyone on the call, especially for recent graduates who are looking for direction, my only advice is to you is that SPE is that place for you to gain direction on the next phase of your career. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Miss Pauline Amaka, for that wonderful SPE experience. So, due to time, we'll move quickly to opening address so that we can proceed with the rest of the event, please. So I'd like to invite Mr. Yafrimpong Kodia Sapon, the chairperson for the Young Professionals Committee, SPE Ghana section, to quickly give us the opening address and resume into the main part of the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, distinguished guest speaker, moderator, section leadership, fellow professionals, and members in the SPE community. It's both a privilege and a responsibility to welcome you to this important conversation, the technical edge, leveraging SPE membership and technical sessions for career longevity. We often say that SPE is the home of energy professionals, but today I want us to think deeper. SPE is not merely a professional organization or association, but it's the career platform or infrastructure you require. It's in an industry driven by cycles, changes, transitions, and evolving definitions of what it means to be an energy professional. Technical relevance is no longer optional, but it's a must. The question is not simply how do we grow, but the real question is how do you remain relevant for over 20, 30, 40 years in a constantly evolving industry? And that is where the technical edge lies. SVE technical sessions are not just committees or interest groups, but they are, I'd say, ecosystems expertise. They're structured communities where knowledge is tested, refined, and shared. And I think it's probably the best place to shape yourself as a young professional. And that's where this transcends into what value you get as a member. Membership is not about just paying dues, but it's about accessing the right intellectual capital, the belonging to the right global knowledge network, and even continuously renewing your competence with your engagements. So for young professionals especially, this matters deeply, just as I am. Your degree gets you in the door, but your network opens up the opportunities. Your sustained technical credibility also will only keep you in the room. So it's quite important that you take advantage of this opportunity, and that's what SPE does. It provides a mechanism for you to stay in that room or move into a bigger room. Today's discussion challenges us to move from passive membership to strategic engagement. So to see your technical sessions not as an optional extra, but to also be deliberate in how you develop yourself. So we're honored to be joined by leadership that understands this deeply and who will help us connect SP's global mission to our individual professional pathways. As we begin, I encourage you to listen, not just as members, but as an architect of your long-term future. Ask yourself, how am I leveraging this platform, which is SPE? How am I contributing to technical conversations? And how am I building a career that will endure all the changes and cycles in this ecosystem? Because indeed, longevity is in energy does not happen by accident. It's built through continuous learning and engagement. Welcome to the Technical Edge. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Sapon, for those wonderful opening remarks. So now we have arrived at the central moment of today's session. It is my distinct honor to introduce Madam Susan House, the 2027 SP International President. She's also the President of Subsurface Consultants and Associates, where she leads consulting, recruitment, and training services with a strong commitment to technical services. It is truly a privilege to have her with us today. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Madam Susan House. Please, Madam, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Let me see if I can share my slides. And put them in show mode. So do you see my slides or do you see the speaker notes?
We can see your slide.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. These have been inspiring talks by everybody so far. I've really enjoyed being part of this webinar, and I'm pleased today to talk about the technical edge, leveraging SP membership and technical sections for career longevity. It's my pleasure to come to speak to this session. I know it's hosted by the SP Ghana section, but I know we have attendees from around the world. So thanks everyone for joining us. And I'm going to give you just a little bit of a taste of my career. And this is a slide sometimes I use with my opening remarks because I've had the chance to travel in my career. And I have not been to Ghana yet. So I need to get Ghana's flag added to this slide. But I have traveled quite a bit in my career. I started with SP as a high school student. I received an SP scholarship. And that scholarship helped pay for my education at the University of Texas at Austin. I majored in petroleum engineering. I had 3 internships while I was in college. I worked for Amoco, which is now part of BP, and I worked for Anadarko, which is now part of Oxy. And then after I graduated, I went to work for Anadarko, and I worked in both Denver and Houston, and I continued to remain active in SPE throughout my career. I had the opportunity to serve on the advisory board of several universities. At Montana Tech, I was on the advisory board of the Petroleum Engineering Department. A similar role for Colorado School of Mines. And at UT, I served both on the advisory board of the Petroleum and Geosystems Engineering Department, and also I'm currently on the advisory board of the Jackson School of Geoscience. And so it's been interesting to be engaged with universities. Um, After I left Anadarko, I went to work for Chevron, and Chevron gave me a lot of opportunity to travel. I was launching the new hire technical development program called Horizons internationally for Chevron. So I traveled to all of Chevron's upstream business units. And then I had a role where I was working in reservoir management, doing peer reviews for major capital projects. So lots of opportunity to see oil and gas producing regions around the world. And after I joined Chevron, I joined SCA, Subsurface Consultants and Associates. That was about 10 years ago, and I'm currently the president. We provide consulting services to the upstream oil and gas industry. We're doing actually quite a bit in West Africa these days. We also provide training, and we also do staffing services for both contingent technical workers and for full-time engineers and geoscientists. As I mentioned, I've been involved in SP throughout my career. I was very involved in the Gulf Coast section, several roles, including membership chair, up to the level of section chair. And then I was a regional director for North America, serving on the board of directors. And during these time period, I had a number of initiatives I was involved in. We started a program we called the Emerging Leaders Program. It became the Young Professionals Program, and we launched the Petra Bowl in the
Hello,
Gulf
Madam
Coast section.
Suzanne.
Yes? Hello?
I'm sorry for the interruption, please. We can still see your notes section and then the
Ah,
next slide. So if you could please put it in
thank you very
presentation mode,
much.
please.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Is that better?
Yes, please. It is better.
Excellent.
It's
So
perfect.
I served as the program chair for the ATCE in New Orleans, the 100th anniversary of ATCE. I've been an SB Distinguished Lecturer. I helped launch the management technical section, and I've been involved in a number of other organizations as well. So we'll start talking a little bit more about SPE. So SPE has had a good growth in membership over the past 25 years. You can see in this graph, it really peaked in 2015 at almost 100,000 professional members, and the student membership peaked with more than 73,000 members in 2016. At that time, we had a financial downturn, and so that impacted our industry and also our membership. And then, of course, we had the COVID pandemic in 2020, and so that had an impact on membership as well. I just want to point out that our current professional membership is 63,000, and it is exceeded by our student membership. So for the first time, we have more student members than we have professional members. And I think that presents a real opportunity. It's an opportunity to convert those student members to professional members when they finish their education. So I mentioned that I've been involved in a number of global initiatives that really benefited me in my career. And the Young Professionals Program was created about the same time in both Houston and in Italy. We both had different names for our programs, but they were merged together to become Young Professionals. And that was some 25 years ago. And then Baruz Patei, who is joining us today, he and I were both involved in launching the Soft Skills Council when Baruz was the president of SPE. We launched that in 2010. It's been rebranded as the Leadership Development Committee, and it fosters the important career development of non-technical skills. The Career Advancement Network is a committee here in the Gulf Coast section that was originally called the Members in Transition Committee. During that big downturn in 2016, we saw many of our members were unemployed, and so we wanted to provide an opportunity for them. We still have that. It's called the Career Advancement Network because we think you should be thinking about your career even when you're not looking for a job. And we do have career fairs. We call it the Energy Professional Hiring Event, and the next one is at OTC in May. And then finally, I want to emphasize the importance of technical sections. I helped launch the management technical section in 2022 as the founding chair of that section. It's been rebranded as the Asset Management Technical Section, and we earned the 2024 Presidential Award for Outstanding Technical Section. So I mentioned that I'd been a distinguished lecturer for SPE, and my topic was ethics. And I just wanted to share a couple of slides from my talk. And in fact, I still give this talk. I've got it scheduled for 3 times in March, in fact. It's a very popular topic. And we think that SP members can learn about ethics much the way we think about safety. So we often start our meetings with safety moments. We have groups that do advocacy when our company is on safety. And all of us as professional members have the opportunity to sound the alarm, to pull out the stop work authority card if we see something that's unsafe. And we think that we should do the same with ethics. And so we should start our meetings with ethical moments. We should have opportunities for distinguished lecturers like the one I did that creates advocacy. And all of us have the requirement that it's incumbent on us to stop and think about something that might be unethical before we do it. And so SP provides us a framework for the questions we might ask ourselves and our team about a decision we're about to make as to whether it might be ethical. So something important to keep in your reference. So we wrote several articles about the importance of non-technical skills, soft skills. And this is just a slide from one of the papers we wrote for the JPT that was about the way our soft skills evolve over our career. So as students, as young professionals, you have the opportunity to develop the skills that you use as an individual contributor. For example, ethics is something that you can use as a student. But there are other skills that relate to leading teams, to working in organizations, and working across a corporation that you will have a chance to acquire as you progress in your career. And so we think it's important that a professional society like SPE provide those avenues for all of us to get those non-technical skills that we need throughout our career. And I'm glad we still have the Leadership Development Committee to support that. In fact, leadership has been an important topic for more than a decade. And this is just kind of a journey map that explains some of the key publications that have come out and some of the initiatives that have been launched, because we are not just a technical society, we are a professional society. And we need to make sure that our members have opportunities to progress in their leadership skills. And when we think about career management, I'm actually referencing an article that I wrote, again, more than a decade ago, but I think it's still relevant because many of us know that we need to have a resume, and you probably update your resume when you're looking for a job, but you may not think about updating your resume every year. And the way that you can think about that is think about having a career development discussion with your supervisor where you identify the types of jobs or even specific jobs that you might want to apply for in your company in the future. And also look at the skills that you would need to be competitive for those jobs. You may not have all those skills. And so this is where you can start to set a plan in motion on how you're going to develop the skills that you need to apply for those higher level jobs. And then that development plan goes into your annual performance management plan, which also includes all your key job responsibilities. And you have an opening P&P at the beginning of the year. You have a closing P&P at the end of the year where you tally your accomplishments and the things that you learned how to do during the year, and those roll into your resume. So this seems very logical to have these career documents and have them updated on a regular basis, perhaps annually. What we didn't think about when Liz Schwartzy and I wrote this article for The Way Ahead many years ago, we didn't think about the importance of a professional network. And I would argue today that's really the fourth document that you need as part of your career management. And so we'll talk about how that works. And if you are thinking about learning a new skill, you need to draft a vision statement for you, for what that looks like, what the skill is that you're trying to learn and how you will accomplish that. And so you probably want to start with what you already know, your strengths, and then identify the gaps, the things that you would like to improve, and set some goals for yourself. And this is where you'll need to find mentors that can help you in this. Your mentors may be within your company, but you may need to look outside your company, and that's where SPE can really help you with that. So as you're thinking about the opportunities within your company for advancement, you want to look at the job description, see what the skills are that you need, and also understand who are the key contacts in your company. Who are your mentors? Who are your sponsors, the people that can be your advocate? And make sure you understand how that works within your company and reach out to them and introduce yourself if you don't know them. Once you land a job, make sure that you're successful in the job that you have. Don't always be looking for the next job that you aren't thinking about the responsibilities you have in your current job. So as you're thinking about how to find mentors, you may need to look at your network to see how that works. And you probably have your work friends, you have SPE colleagues, you have friends from your university, from perhaps you have neighbors, you may have colleagues from other past employers, but look at that network and map it out and look how these people can help you. That you might find that people from your family or even from your faith community might be helpful in that area. So use your network to advance your career. And really, we think the starting point for SP members is to attend an SP conference. And so I just pulled a sample of 4 that are currently on our events page at sp.org. There is a drilling conference that is in March in Galveston. I noted that Ghana has the Biennial International Summit and Exhibition that's in May. The Africa Technical Conference is in Cote d'Ivoire in June. And then the URTEC, Unconventional Reservoirs Technology Conference, is in June in Houston. And I'm on the program committee for that conference, so I can answer questions about that. If you have attended SP conferences, then maybe the next level is to present at an SP conference. And so all of these conferences put out call for papers or call for proposals. And one that is open right now is the call for proposals for the ATCE, the SP Annual Technical Conference and Exhibition. This conference will be held in October in Houston, and the call for papers is due the 9th of March. And so what you'll do is submit an abstract. I think it's 450 words. And then if your abstract is accepted, then you'll produce a manuscript and a PowerPoint deck for your presentation. So if you're going to submit an abstract, you need to have approval from your employer to do so, because you don't want to be a position where you get your abstract selected and you're notified and you have to decline because you haven't gotten approval from your employer. So make sure you have put enough time in the process to do that. So once you've presented a topic several times, it might be appropriate to be nominated as a distinguished lecturer. Both Baruz and I have served as distinguished lecturers, so we can tell you about the process of how you get selected, but it starts with a nomination, and you can't nominate yourself. Someone else must nominate you, and it should be someone who has seen you present, someone who knows that you can do the topic justice that you're proposing and that understands the global nature of the topic, so it would be of interest to SP sections around the world. it's a wonderful experience to be an SPE Distinguished Lecturer, so I would encourage all of you to aspire to that opportunity. There's also a number of other ways you can volunteer for SPE and global committees. There's a volunteer portal, and I've put the link down at the bottom of this slide. And this is just a current selection of things that you can apply for. It changes on a weekly basis. So check back and see if there's something that interests you. But I'll point out that right now they're looking for volunteers to join the 2027 ATCE Program Committee, and that closes at the end of March. So that means 18 months ahead of the conference, they're starting to build the program committee. So that's how much lead time that you need to get on some of these committees. Technical sections are the hidden jewel of SPE, and I think a lot of people don't know about them. They're free for all professional members and all students, and there are 24 of them. And so you can pick the ones that are relevant to your interests. You can join all 24 if you want, but they all provide different ways that you connect virtually with members around the world who are interested in those technical topics. And I really think people don't know the value of technical sections because you can meet virtually in webinars, you can post questions to the discussion board. Many of them have a call for officers once a year so you can become involved in the leadership. And occasionally they might have in-person meetings. And so here is one of the technical sections that I've been involved in, the asset management technical section. And it started like most of them as a virtual technical section. We were doing monthly webinars and discussion boards. We recently had an in-person meeting actually in Houston in January. It was the Energy Economics and Evaluation Symposium, and economics is one of those technical topics that's included in the management taxonomy of SPE. And that was a joint conference that we did with the Federal Reserve Bank and with the Association of Energy Economists. And so it was an exciting in-person event for about 200 people. And we actually had a contest for students where they had to do some analysis on where to position a data center so that they could have access to reliable energy sources. And I think they're continuing to do some of the student competitions with sections around the world. This technical section has written a number of technical papers. You can see them listed, and they've been presented at the ATCE. So we're methodically going through the taxonomy, which has 29 different subcomponents, and writing papers about the evolution of those technical topics. We won the Presidential Award in 2024, so that's a group of us showing off our award certificate. So I challenge you to get value from your SP membership. Make sure you have the opportunity to present at conferences, participate in both your local section and the technical sections, use your network to find mentors who can help you, and keep up those career documents, the things that you will need over time to manage your career and get the most value out of SPE to enhance your skills throughout your career. We face a number of challenges in our industry today. We've had a decline in membership since the 2015 downturn and the COVID pandemic, and we need to retain our existing members and attract new ones. We need to make good financial decisions to make sure that we're a long-term leading technical and professional society, and we need to remain the trusted source of truth for emerging technologies and industry topics. And so our vision is that we continue to advance the oil and gas producing and related energies community ability to meet the world's energy in a safe, secure, and sustainable manner. And so that means we need to make sure that our members get value from their membership, that we're converting those student members to professional members, and that we're making sure our members have an opportunity to build their network and fully participate in all the value that SP has to offer. So it's been a challenging time for our industry, and I think you should consider SPE as part of your resilience strategy to make it through the ups and downs of our industry. I know it's been invaluable to me, and I hope it provides value to you as well. And I will be happy to take any questions. I will stop sharing and we can open the floor to questions.
Oh, thank you very much, Madam Susan House, for that wonderful presentation.
You're welcome.
Within this brief time, I've really picked a lot regarding how SPE is impacting its members and how SPE is going to influence the future of the energy sector. So, spanning from your queue to join an SPE conference, I was glad you highlighted the Ghana Biennial International Conference and the other conferences across the globe. And my key takeaway was get value from your SPE membership. It is very important. We keep talking about the values that SPE offers, funding from the technical side to the SPE Connect, to the networking that we get from SPE and all that. These are very important for members in the energy sector. So thank you very much once again, Madam Susan House, for that wonderful presentation. So at this point, I'll share my screen again. So we move to the Ask the SPE International President session. This is right after this one. Hello, is my screen visible, please?
Yes, we see it.
Right, thank you very much. So we had some very interesting questions coming in when we rolled out the Ask the 2027 SPE President initiative. I'll read them all out, but I'll also encourage attendees on the call to also put their questions that they would also like to ask on the platform. And when I call you, please introduce yourself, indicate whether you're a student or a professional in the industry. So, taking the first question, I would like to call on Mr. John Kumsin to ask his question. It's an interesting one.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Please, can
Hello.
you confirm it's
Yes.
audible?
Very audible.
All right, so my name is John Kumsin, petroleum engineer by profession. I work with the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies as a research and development officer, currently serving as the deputy chair of the Young Professionals Committee, SPE Ghana section. And I'm glad to have Mr. Deluz Batai on the call as well. So, Susan, this question, how were you able to successfully balance and integrate major leadership roles across industry, professional societies like the SPE, and community organizations while simultaneously pursuing and advancing your academic development? And what strategies enabled you to excel across these demanding commitments? Thank you.
That's a great question. Balancing your involvement in professional societies with your other responsibilities, and most of us have full-time jobs that require a dedicated attention, and certainly in my case, I had a family. I have two daughters, so family commitments, and I think you have to set your priorities. And I think you also need to learn how to say no because occasionally you will get requests for volunteerism that you just can't accommodate, and so you need to be able to manage those competing challenges and put balance in your life and make sure that you're doing your job well, and also choose the volunteer commitments that support your job. So in my case, I've worked a lot with talent in the oil and gas industry, and so I've been able to use SPE to reinforce that effort.
Thank you very much for that top-notch answer. I'm sure, Mr. John Kumsin, you are I'm very much satisfied with this. So I'll pick at random some of the interesting questions that we had coming in for the Ask the SPE President. So the first one is from Patrick Ezenachi. He's saying, what sustainable development project initiatives are planned for 2027, and how can young professionals in SPE get involved?
So the question is sustainable development initiatives. I think actually we have a technical section that might be relevant to that question. And they have had a number of meetings. The Sustainable Development Technical Section is actually a very active technical section. And for several years, they've had a meeting that's called Gaia, where people from different countries get together to discuss these topics. So I would suggest, if that's an interesting topic to you, Patrick, to get involved in the Sustainable Development Technical section to learn more what initiatives they have planned.
Thank you very much, Madam Susan House, for that wonderful answer. So I'll quickly move to the next one from Dr. Daniel Lampia with Total Energies, who also happen to serve at the helm of affairs for the Africa region as the comms director. So his question is, what is SP's vision for the next 10 to 15 years regarding international organization relevance within the evolving energy sector? It's an interesting one.
That's an interesting question, and international relevance I think is innate in our organization's mission. We provide the energy that helps raise the standard of living of households and communities around the world. And we have truly been becoming a more international organization over the years. I can tell you, as I mentioned, I used to be the membership chair in the Gulf Coast section many years ago. And it used to be that our membership was maybe half United States, half international many years ago. But we have had tremendous growth outside the United States. And so I can't give you the precise definition, but I know it's much more than half of our membership is now outside the United States, and we have meetings around the world. And so we are a global organization, and we hope to provide the resources that our members need to be able to provide energy to their local communities wherever they live. Thank you for that question.
Thank you very much for that top tier answer as well, Madam Susan House. So we have a very interesting question from Behruz Fatahi. He said, great informative presentation, Susan. Do organizations still support SP membership fees for professionals, and are student membership supported by energy companies?
That's a great question, Baruz. And I think the answer is it varies. In some parts of the world, members are able to charge their membership dues to their corporation, and we actually have a way they call it the bulk dues registration, where corporations can actually do a bulk payment for, say, 300 members, if that's what they want to do. And so that may facilitate the payment of those dues membership, particularly in parts of the world where currency is complicated. Not everyone has a corporate credit card, those sorts of things. And so we've tried to make that much easier. But I will say it's probably not anywhere close to 100% of our members have their dues paid for by their employers. So I don't know what the number is, but in some companies, they may only pay for one professional society. And for instance, I'm a member of not only SPE, but also the Society of Women Engineers and the American Association of Petroleum Geologists, APG. And my company pays for all three. That may be unusual. We may not have everyone's membership paid for by their employer. And with response to your second question, Baruz, regarding student dues, Daniel, if I may share a slide real quick,
All right,
I have a
sure.
slide that I will do if possible. And tell me, do you see the slide or do you see the speaker notes?
We can see the slide in the speaker notes, please.
Okay, so let me switch it. So the SP board recently voted on a new dues structure that's going to be implemented in fiscal year 2027. And part of this came about because for many years, Chevron supported the student dues with a sponsorship. And recently, Chevron has decided they're going to put their sponsorship money in other directions. And and actually, the sponsorship worked very well. You saw how the student membership had grown over the past 25 years. I remember when we used to only have 5,000 student members, and now we have more than 60,000. So it's an order of several orders of magnitude. So it's the sort of thing that we are now going to implement a student dues structure that's similar to what I paid when I was a student, and it will be tiered by the World Bank classification of the economies in the country in which you live. And we think we want students to get value out of their membership, and so that's why we're trying to make a concerted effort to show that we have lots of ways that students can advance their career and we want them to get that value. And so we don't want to just have them sign up and never show up for anything. We truly want them to be active members. And so this small membership dues structure will start in fiscal year 27. And I'll stop sharing so you can go back to your other slide.
All right, thank you very much. So my key takeaway is we want students to get value from SPE membership. We want them to be active and diligent in SPE and not just as followers or just joining
That's
meetings.
right.
Yeah.
And I think to follow up on the rest of Baru's question, there may be some areas of the world where the professional sections help pay for the cost of the student dues, or there may be employers that want to pay for the cost of student dues in their local region of the world. And that's certainly an option. As these opportunities develop, we will make ways for there can be bulk payments of student dues as well. So we expect that there will be some local employers or perhaps professional success sections that want to support their student sections in this way.
Thank you very much. So I think we can all remain optimistic that we can have several companies doing bulk payments for members or employees who are in SP and then also for students. So the next question is from Vincent Mensah. But then due to time, I'll pick one question that he has. He said, my first question is, given the rapid shift towards digitalization and AI in petroleum engineering, how can SV technical sections guide members in developing specialized skills that remain relevant for the next 10 to 15 years?
Great question. And as you know, several years ago, we introduced a new discipline to SP that's called data science and engineering analytics. We used to have a discipline that was management and information. And so we split the management off and we have a new technical director for data science and engineering analytics. The current technical director is Sushma Ban. And I see many sections around the world doing symposia and workshops on this very topic. Here in the Gulf Coast section, they have an annual meeting that sometimes draws 400 people to talk about the importance of digital transformation and AI and how it's changing our workflows and how, as petroleum engineers, we can leverage that power to make our jobs easier. And so I expect that there will continue to be more workshops and conferences done locally around the world. We've also added quite a bit of um, technical presentations to the annual technical conference and exhibition. In fact, we've adjusted some of the allocation because we had so many strong proposals coming in several years ago on these topics, that we made sure that that track had more room for presentation so that more of them would be getting accepted. And so I think there's a lot of enthusiasm about this topic. And it's actually a cross-functional topic because when you think about it, uh, digital transformation and AI can help with drilling engineering, with reservoir, with production, with completions, you name it, it crosses all of our technical disciplines. And so we think this will continue to be important, and I expect it to be a very well attended topic at most of our SP conferences in the next 10 to 15 years.
All right, thank you very much for that wonderful answer. So we have another interesting one from Miss Christabel Furiata. It's a bit lengthy, so please indulge me to read it all
Sure.
out. So it says, on the topic of declining membership, I'm curious as to how the relevance of SPE is being communicated at the university level, such that it is not only sold as a petroleum engineering focused association, but one that serves other students from different departments. I asked because when I was in university, SPE seemed to be only for the petroleum engineering students, and it wasn't until I joined the professional working environment that I found that it was open to other sectors as well. Thank you.
I think you're right, Christabel, that varies by universities. And so the professional sections that sponsor or liaise with the universities in their area should make a point to reach out to those student chapters and inform them that their members don't all have to be petroleum engineering majors. They can be geoscientists. They can be economists. They can do lots of things. And for instance, I'm a graduate of University of Texas, and they have a hackathon that they do every year that's done in teams over a weekend. And they reach out to their entire university to come to this hackathon, and they get biology majors, they get computer science majors. You wouldn't uh, appreciate how much value those different perspectives can bring to the teams until you see it in action. And so I agree. It's an opportunity to talk to students who are in other majors other than petroleum engineering and show them the value they might get out of it as a student member. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that answer. I'm sure, Miss Christabel, you're satisfied now. So speaking of value and then also considering other facets of SPE, I'll take this last but one question. It says, what specific technical skills can members realistically gain through SPE technical sessions that are typically not covered in a classroom setting?
Well, I think anything that you're going to get outside of a classroom session is typically going to be more applied and less theoretical. The opportunity to interact with people who have years of experience in industry, they can share with you their lessons learned and best practices on projects throughout the years. Um, there are still lots of very theoretical things that are discussed in SP meetings and technical sections. I'm not saying they're not theoretical, but beyond the academic perspective, we try to have balance between presenters that have a background from an operator or a background from an oil field service company or a background from academia so that you can see the differences in how they address a problem and how they solve it. And in many times we work together with those different perspectives. And those make, I think, the best papers when you have people with different perspectives that are presenting.
All right, thank you very much. So I'll ask the last question so that we proceed to the next session of the webinar. So this is a personal one. In pragmatic steps, what will be your advice for young professionals in the energy sector and also SPE on how to excel in SPE and then also excel in their career? This is a personal one for all of us, a takeaway. Thank you.
Sure. And I think that's always the challenge. We all have to balance our responsibilities. So anytime you start a new job, make sure you understand what the expectations are of you. What are the key responsibilities that you need to deliver on, and make sure that you understand it, because it may change over the course of your job. So have those important conversations where sometimes there's trade-offs. You can't do everything, so you're going to have to prioritize things and understand what's important not only to you but to your company. And so manage those expectations and do your best to try to deliver. And I think at the end of the day, that's about time management. It's about making sure you have the skills to do the job that you're needing to do, and taking ownership of your own career development. Don't expect someone else to do that for you. You really need to own it.
Thank you very much for that wonderful answer. So basically, my key takeaway is make sure you understand what the expectations are of you in the workplace. Know what is important to you and in your company. Don't just focus on your interests, but also make sure they align with your companies. And it's also about focusing on the skills that you can hone and equip yourself with to excel, time management, and most importantly, have a clear career path in both SP and then also your personal career journey. So thank you very much for those top-notch answers. So I would like to move to the next session of the webinar.
Great.
All right, so there will be a feedback survey link that will be placed in the chat. You kindly fill the survey link and then also share your experience or recommendations regarding how we can organize other technical webinars like this one to impact SP members. So as we approach the close of today's session, let me leave you with this reminder. So SP provides access to global technical knowledge. It is a stream, it is global, and it's imperative for all members. It provides expert communities, mentorship, career development opportunities, and a professional network built for the future of energy. I always have this in mind. I think in 2023, I attended the Nigeria SPE conference, NAIS, and I took something from what the then SPE president, Terry Pally, said. He said, you gain your first job through SPE. You gain your first job through mostly your degree, and then most other jobs that you get after is through your connections, which you leverage the SP platforms to gain. So networking through SP is also very important. So this is also your cue. If you have not renewed or if you are yet to join SP officially, it is the time to join, renew, stay connected, and also stay competitive. I sincerely hope that by the end of this key webinar, every participant on the call will be an active and engaged SP member. So regarding the closing remarks, to formally draw down the curtains, I would like to invite our able chairperson of the SP Ghana session, someone I look up to, the Associate Professor Richard Amorin, to deliver the closing remarks and climax the webinar. Professor Richard Amorin, if
Yeah,
you're on the call, the floor is yours,
thank you
please.
so much, Daniel, for such a wonderful moderation of the program. Listening through to the initial speakers on the experiences so far, the benefits. Listen to Susan as well, the rich content she has presented, the questions that came and the answers that she gave. I can say confidently that this has been a very well-balanced lunch served us this afternoon. Almost every facet of what we do have been touched on. And I guess we just have to grab the opportunity that SP offers. Some initially joined, or most of us initially joined with very limited expectations based on the benefit that we can get from SP. But as we listen to the speakers as well as guest speaker, Susan, we we've seen that SPE is not just about securing a job, or it's not just about networking. There is more to it than just these two, networking and gaining a job. So I guess sometimes the challenge has always been getting to know these opportunities. So it's so much relevant that we keep networking. We are open-minded. We should be more curious to ask questions and learn, so we become assets everywhere we find ourselves. I just want to also encourage all of us. I am informed that our president, 2027 president, Susan House, will be coming to Ghana somewhere the BICE time. So we eager to have you physically in Ghana for BICE. That is 20th May to 21st. And we hope that all others can also join here as we host the international community during the BICE section. That will be held in Accra. And so this is more like a personal invitation to our president. And in fact, we have the best hospitality to offer. And we believe that together we'll be able to move the society forward. I have just a small request, and I pray that as you are here, maybe you may be able to table that at the higher level. Some sections are actually struggling to survive. The industry is not booming as we have it at other places, and therefore sometimes getting the needed support is not as easy and simple as we may have it at other regions. I'm happy with the proposed student dues. It varies, and I also want to put this appeal across. If the student rebates can also be restored, just as the sections are giving some form of rebate to run. I believe it would help some of the struggling student sections or chapters that are finding it a bit difficult to really self-finance some of the things they do. I'll be very glad if it's looked into, at least something small that can sustain them while they also try to raise monies through other means to also survive. So I just want to thank everybody once again for joining the call. It's been very innovative, it's been very educative, it's been very inspiring. There is so much to benefit from SPE, and we pray that we'll all do our bit. Susan made a point that we need to be the truth in this era that we find ourselves. If they are looking for the truth going forward in this energy transition, SPE, and SPE is yourself and myself. So let's do our best to make sure that we remain relevant. Some people planted the trees. We are enjoying the shade and the fruits that it's bearing. And we should also make sure that before we leave, at least we've planted some few seedlings here and there, so that those who are coming would also enjoy something. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the day.
All right, thank you very much for that wonderful climax, Professor Richard Amorim, Section Chair for the SPE Ghana session. So just one last bit, Madam Susan House, if you have any final closing statements you'd like to share before we adjourn the meeting for today, please.
Thank you for all of the speakers at today's meeting. It's been really inspirational. I've enjoyed it as a participant as well as a speaker. And I wondered if we could take a group picture. Is that something that you can do for us, Daniel?
All right, let me try.
We've had really good attendance, so it would be good to capture the sense of the number of people. There we go. So if everyone could capture their cameras on for just a few seconds, and we'll let Daniel take a picture. I appreciate everybody's enthusiastic responses in the chat. It was moving pretty fast, but I appreciate all the engagement, and thank you so much for joining us today.
All right, I think we got some good shots. I think Jerry
Okay,
Sage can also help out with some good shots from your end also. Yeah,
excellent.
we are
There we
SPE.
go. All right, everybody smile.
We are SPE.
Solution, people, energy.
Nice. Solutions, people, energy. That's great.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Solutions, People, Energy, indeed. We are SPE. So at this point, on behalf of the SPE Ghana session and everyone, I'd like to thank you to all who joined. And once again, Madam Susan House, this was a wonderful presentation. And you've really impacted the SPE Ghana session in the Africa region. May God richly bless you. And we hope that in subsequent times, we'll have even more impactful engagements than this one. Thank you all once again. And I wish you a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.